Music is a big deal in every decade, and just as important, it keeps changing with the times. When you think of the 1970s, disco probably pops into your head as the sound of the era. But I'm here to tell you that some of the biggest and most important bands in history came from that decade, and they weren't even a part of the disco scene. You may be surprised who made the cut and who didn't in this list of the best bands of the 1970s. So let's dive in and take a nostalgic trip through the incredible music that rocked the decade. Number 10. The Doobie Brothers. Now, despite their name, the Doobie Brothers had quite a rotating roster over the years. They weren't tied down to just one genre. They mixed rock and folk, pop, and more into their music. The most famous members of the group were Tom Johnston, Patrick Simmons, Michael McDonald, and John McPhee, and they achieved great success in the 70s, but continued to perform for 50 years with various members. Their impressive career includes numerous accolades, including Grammy Awards. And interestingly, one of the members was actually a missile expert. Yet the Doobie Brothers never bombed. Number 9. The Allman Brothers. Formed in 1969, the Allman Brothers Band features Dwayne and Greg Allman, along with Dickie Betts, Barry Oakley, Butch Trucks, and Jai Johansson. Known for their fun and epic live performances, they often improvise during shows, creating unforgettable jams. Their breakthrough came with their 1971 album, which propelled them into the mainstream, but unfortunately tragedy struck the band multiple times, with several members passing away in heartbreaking circumstances. Despite all the setbacks, they persevered and continued making music, ultimately playing their last tour in 2014. Number 8. The Ramones. The men who may have defined the New York punk rock scene, they didn't particularly care for the label. They felt hindered by their success. Despite the original band members adopting names like Joey, Dee Dee, Johnny, and Tommy Ramone, they were not actually related. They simply chose those names to create a family-like image. An irony of their legacy is despite pioneering the punk rock genre in the 1970s and beyond, they never achieved significant commercial success. Nevertheless, their influence and the impact of their music were so profound, they garnered numerous honors and accolades even after the original members passed away. This would include Lifetime Achievement Awards and being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in year 1 of eligibility. It's a true testament to their enduring greatness, so no, they may not have been punks, but they were epic rockers. Number 7. Creedence Clearwater Revival. Creedence Clearwater Revival, often abbreviated as CCR, is a band with an impressive repertoire that deserves respect. They achieved more in a span of 3 years than most bands accomplish in decades. Composed of John Fogerty and his brother Tom, along with Stu Cook and Doug Clifford, between the years of 1969 and 1971, they released a series of top 10 singles and albums, producing hit after hit at an incredible pace. The talent and work ethic of CCR was truly something special. Known for creating some of rock's most iconic songs like Proud Mary, Bad Moon Rising, and Fortunate Son, they're just a few of their legendary tracks that have left a great mark on music history. Their sound was unique, blending rock, blues, and a touch of country, which resonated with a wide variety of music lovers. Despite their phenomenal success, the band broke up in 1971 due to internal conflicts, and they reunited only once, leaving fans wondering what they may have achieved if they were able to work through their differences and stay united. CCR's legacy will remain forever influential with musicians and continue to delight listeners from around the world. Number 6. The Eagles. Will she still love you when you're not around? When you're a group that sells over 200 million records in your lifetime, you've certainly hit a milestone in the music industry. That's precisely what the Eagles achieved since their formation in 1971. They soared with their hit Take It Easy and went on to become one of the most beloved rock bands of all time. The original lineup of Glenn Frey, Don Henley, Bernie Leadon, and Randy Meisner initially came together not to form a band, but to support singer Linda Ronstadt on tour. After a few tours, they ventured out on their own and began creating their hits. Interestingly, their first #1 song was not Take It Easy, despite its initial popularity, but however, The Best of My Love. The Eagles went on to produce several more iconic songs, including Hotel California, and released multiple beloved albums thereafter. Like many bands of the era, they experienced a breakup and a reunion, and recently they embarked on a farewell tour. The Eagles' music continues to captivate audiences, proving their long-lasting influence on the world of rock. Number 5. ZZ Top. Billy Gibbons, Frank Beard, and Dusty Hill are the legendary members of ZZ Top. Formed in 1969, the band initially had a very different look and sound. However, they dominated much of the 1970s and reinvented themselves in 1979, adopting a signature look of massive beards, epic sunglasses, and a fresh and distinctive sound. Like many iconic bands, ZZ Top became renowned for their electrifying live performance. Their lyrics were catchy and often humorous, resonating with a wide audience, and they skillfully leveraged the MTV era by creating memorable music videos that always grabbed attention. Despite the recent passing of Dusty Hill, ZZ Top's legacy continues to thrive and lives on today, cementing their place in rock and roll history. The three of them were together for so long without a change that they actually set a world record. And during one of their first performances, there was only one person in attendance, and they bought them a Coca-Cola as a thank you gift. Number 4. Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Where the sky was blue. Sweet home Alabama. Oh, baby.
It's a bit challenging to talk about Lynyrd Skynyrd. Their legacy is largely defined in 2 iconic songs, and by the time of their farewell tour, no original members of the band were left. However, anytime you hear Sweet Home Alabama or Freebird, you know exactly who it is, and the songs remain some of the most popular and iconic tracks in rock and roll history. The band was formed in 1964 with original members Ronnie Van Zant, Gary Rossington, Alan Collins, Larry Jungstrom, and Bob Burns. And despite lineup changes over the years, they really hit their stride in the 1970s, producing hit after hit after hit. Tragically, a plane crash took the lives of several members in 1977, forever altering the band's direction. And despite it all, Lynyrd Skynyrd persevered and continued making music while maintaining their status as rock and roll icons to this day. Number 3. Journey. Journey came together in 1973 in an unexpected way. The original members were all in other bands who left to create their own group, and over time they added new members, which included Steve Perry, who would become their iconic lead vocalist. Once they had found their groove as a rock anthem band, they began dominating the music scene, with hits like Separate Ways to Wheel in the Sky, Any Way You Want It, and more. They developed a vibe and style that resonated with audiences. Their popular song, Don't Stop Believing, remains one of the most iconic tracks, often used in various media today. And remember the end of The Sopranos? That unforgettable moment was accompanied by Journey's music. Even now, their tracks feature in popular shows like Stranger Things, proving their enduring appeal and long-lasting relevance. Number 2. Aerosmith. It's fascinating to place Aerosmith at number 2 on this list because unlike many others, they've actually only had one #1 song, and it's not the one that you may think. In 1998, they wrote I Don't Want to Miss a Thing from the Armageddon soundtrack, which went to number 1 in the charts. Formed in 1970, they've had a significant impact, earning induction into both the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Hollywood Walk of Fame as well. Steven Tyler, Joe Perry, Tom Hamilton, Joey Kramer, and Brad Whitford are the original crew that rocked the 70s and beyond. Known for loud and crazy performances, they made their name with unforgettable live shows and classic rock anthems. Ironically, due to addiction and internal issues, they broke up and later reunited, embarking on another epic run that produced many of their biggest songs. Their resilience and ability to reinvent themselves have kept them at the forefront for many decades. Aerosmith has a roller coaster ride named after them at Walt Disney World, and now they're on their final tour, marking the ending of an era. It's sad to see them go, but their legacy will continue to rock on forever. Number 1. Kiss. Kiss is easily a band that has had one of the biggest impacts on music history. Formed in 1973, when Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, Ace Frehley, and Peter Criss got together. In an era dominated by disco, they brought hard rock to the forefront. Not only did they wear face paint and costumes, they incorporated fire breathing, stage blood, tricks, and more into their performances, creating an unforgettable experience for the audience. Their iconic personas and mystique lasted for around a decade until they finally unmasked on MTV, a move that had helped to revive their careers in new ways. Over the 50 years of performances, they became known for their willingness to put their names and likeness on everything and anything, from commercials to TV shows, movies, and even a collaboration with Scooby-Doo. Kiss's influence is immense, and even though their last show was in December of 2023, their legacy lives on, and they're hailed as one of the greatest musical groups of all time. And there you have it, a look at some of the best bands of the 1970s and why they were so influential both then and now. Which of these bands were you shocked to hear about? And what do you feel were their best pieces of music? Perhaps there's another band from the 70s who should have been on this list. Be sure to let me know all about it in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss another great nostalgic trip like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.